Fuck you. Randy's fault. I should let him go, guys. Sucks. And then when he comes on and it's you sitting there,
yeah.
I'll be like, listen, I apologize. We let that fucking guy go. Enough's enough. Enough's enough, man. Fucking up time zones. Guy sucks. Ugh. So what did he want to discuss? He said he wanted to discuss.
Oh boy. What's that?
I'll just keep this. I tossed it away, but just in case.
He went to high school powerlifting, goods and bads, transition from conventional to sumo.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you wrestled. Matt goes. Matt goes. So I'm going to have to be the funny guy, I guess.
Let's talk about hook grip too. Everyone's hook gripping now.
Yeah, everybody's hook gripping.
Spot press of 2017.
That's right. Future goals, upcoming meets, and when I got back into powerlifting after high school.
Cool.
So I'm pretty sure he's only like 22. 21,
oh wow.
22. He's not very old.
He's a young guy.
I'm pretty sure he works at a grocery store for a job because I was watching his live feed one night. He was just on there. People were asking questions.
Oh, cool.
So he's got access to macros.
Yeah.
He's a dealer of macros.
And I don't know if he's always been with Strength Cartel, but it looked like I just noticed the stuff coming up. Kilo Cartel or something? Maybe that's I can't remember what it's called.
You know, so should we do our discussion? He wasn't thinking he was going to go for another 2 hours. Want to wait another half hour then and do our current events discussion like we were going to?
Yeah, you might as well.
What the fuck you think?
Sure.
Like, what should I tell him?
He said he's good to go now. Fire it off.
Should we just fucking fire this off?
Yeah.
Or should I say, would you rather do it now or in 45 minutes?
Just fucking put him up.
We got twice the followers.
Guy's fucking gutless. Our guy's fucking heartless, what to say. Okay, let's call this guy. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. It's probably in bed. Cailer, you hear me? Hey!
Yeah, what's up?
How's it going?
Hey. Good, how are y'all?
Not bad, buddy, not bad. Yeah, sorry for the early call here. We got our time zones messed up. I'm going to throw that one on Randy, like I usually do.
Okay.
Yeah, wow, fuck, the guy's not very professional.
Yep.
So, how you doing, man? You good to go? Now's a good time?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you've seen the show, you only see me right now, but you're actually on a monitor. I'm looking at it. We got Matt here, Goldie. He's going to be the co-host. Randy, yeah. So you'll hear Matt. You won't see Matt, but he's here. So every now and then you'll hear him jump in with some questions, and it'll look like I'm not looking at you, but I'm actually looking at you at the monitor. And 1 second, what do you think about clarity? You're on a laptop or?
I'm actually on my phone.
Are you on your phone?
He's good.
You good?
As long as he doesn't.
All right.
Is that fan in the background going to buffer us?
I think so.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Because the big thing is, in terms of buffering, your Wi-Fi looks pretty solid. We've had some Wi-Fis that are, if there's a lot of movement in front of the camera, it buffers and it glitches. But your Wi-Fi looks pretty flippin' solid. I think.
Okay.
Randy, what are you thinking? Looks good?
As long as he doesn't move around too much.
So the big thing would be, as long as you don't move around too much in front of the camera, we should be good.
Okay. So, like, don't do that.
Or just like, super duper talking with your hands. And,
Okay.
And you should be good. Okay, well, okay, so I guess we could start. Whoa. You got your assistant there in the background? I seen you motioning.
Yes, she's right.
It's good, man. That's when you know you made it, is when you have an assistant.
Yes, sir.
More coffee, love. It's getting cold. So you want to start from the top? How about we do a little introduction to yourself, sir?
Sure. don't know, what do you want me to say? I'm Cailer Woolam from Lubbock, Texas. 198 to 220 power lifter. I mean, that's me. I don't know what else to say.
So I'll jump in real quick. I know we get a lot of people popping up on our mini feeds, and some dudes are like big names, have been doing it for a long time, got a lot of titles behind them, and sometimes like yourself, the reason what attracted me, man, I seen a dude who's like 200 pounds pulling it like well into the 800s. Like, holy shit, who is this guy? Like, who? So how did you? It feels like you just emerged from nowhere. And I mean, obviously, there's a lot of 10-year overnight successes. But how did you? When did you start powerlifting? Because seriously, man, you're like a star that just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah. I did powerlift in high school and stuff, all the way to my senior year. And I think like I got my deadlift up to like around 600 pounds at 165. So I mean, it was all right there. And then pretty much after I graduated, I didn't really know anything about powerlifting outside of high school. Like I didn't know anything about federations or anything like that. So I kind of just like worked out, tried to get as big as I could. And then kind of later on, you know, a lot of people were encouraging me to go do meets and stuff. So finally, like I went up and signed up for a couple of you know, push-pull meets. And then that's kind of just where it started, and that was about like 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. So, and then so I did those, and then I was like, okay, well, I want to start competing full power. So then, like, it was just a little over a year ago. It was like February 2016, I think, was when I did my first full power meet back into the powerlifting world.
And how old are you right now?
How old am I now?
Yeah.
20.
22. So you're a junior.
Yes, sir.
Frank, man, you got a whole lot in front of you. So how long you been powerlifting then?
Let's see. Well, I guess I've always, I guess for like the last 5 years, I've like worked out with like strength as a priority. But I guess competitively powerlifting, more like maybe just about 2 years, I guess.
Holy
And then other than what I did in high school, like way back. So.
And what brought you back in? So you started out in high school, did a couple of meets, and then so did you take time off after high school, or like was it just push right through in powerlifting, or?
No, it was about 2 years that I took off after high school, and I just lifted weights. You know, with like strength is like a main priority. I still like. I squatted, you know, I bench pressed real heavy, I deadlifted heavy, you know, though I was still like, always loved, you know, bench and deadlift, of course. And my goal at the time was just to get as big as I could. And I wasn't worried necessarily about like, you know, like how strong I was for my body weight or how competitive I'd be as a power lifter. I was more concerned of just how big I could get, so.
And so back when you left and you started at 600, what made this biggest push? What was the big difference when all of a sudden you're pulling into, like, what currently is your highest deadlift?
915 is currently my highest deadlift.
915, so it's a 315-pound jump. Like, what was the biggest attribution you think that you switched? You started, like, switching up in terms of coaching or how serious you took it, or just
well, okay, so in high school, for some reason, our powerlifting team, our coach, he only taught us to pull sumo. There was no such thing as a conventional deadlift. I don't know, it had something to do with him maybe being afraid.
And you know, that's total opposite what you would think. You would think everyone, like most coaches, want to start you conventional.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly, yeah, because, you know, sumo is so much more technical. But no, there is no such thing as a conventional deadlift. I didn't even know it was called that. Yeah. So I think that's what made the biggest difference. So after I graduated high school, I started pulling conventional, and I pretty much only pulled conventional for like, you know, about 2 years. And, you know, I built my conventional from basically nothing all the way up to like around 700 pounds. And then whenever I switched back to sumo, that's when I realized that, you know, it had carried over so much and made me so much stronger. So I'd say that probably made the biggest difference, other than, you know, gaining, you know, maybe around 40 pounds out of high school.
Oh, so, shit. Yeah, that's a nice size jump.
Yeah. So, you know, getting a lot bigger and then, you know, training differently, I think that's probably what helped my deadlift out so much.
So do you still incorporate a lot of conventional pulling into your training? Like, because you use pull sumo on the platform. That's your main bread and butter. How often do you pull conventional?
Pretty much always. I don't pull sumo a whole lot in practice. I've done it like a little bit more recently, I guess, with my new program. But typically, sumo is only for like big pulls, maybe like a big double or a big single, and just technique practice for the most part. Other than that, I feel like I get all my work done pulling conventional.
No shit.
I like doing it better.
That's
so
yeah, I don't know if I've heard too many people doing that, where like usually they would say, and I mean the more interviews we do, the more you see so many different training styles, but it's interesting that you say like, you leave the sumo for like the platform and the high numbers and pull mostly conventional. Is it just
I feel like
go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I think I just get more out of pulling conventional. I feel like that's what makes me stronger. And then, when I just spread my legs a little bit and pull sumo, it's a little bit easier. So it just works with my leverages a little bit better. So it just has a huge carryover to my sumo. So that's why I just pull conventional all the time.
And you mentioned programming. Who does your programming?
I've actually never really done a program before. I mean, I would just kind of do my own stuff, but now I'm working with Jesse Burdick. And he's doing my stuff for my meet. And
what kind of programming do you do? Do you do percentage-based? Do you do RPE programming?
Right now, it's more like a percentage-based with what we're doing right now. Kind of more like a conjugate, so we have like maximum effort days and then dynamic effort days. So I really like it so far. It's definitely different. It's really hard, but I like it. So.
How often do you deadlift? Because you are a deadlift guy, right? That's by far your favorite lift, no?
So, absolutely. So I've always deadlifted or done like a deadlift day and then like a back accessory day, like at least twice a week. Working on my deadlift twice a week. So now Jesse has me doing like I'll have like a pretty heavy deadlift day, and then I'll have like an accessory day where I just do back stuff, and then I'll have another day where I do speed pulls. So I'm pretty much working on my deadlift 3 times a week now, which is great. I feel like it's gonna help. So. And
that's also like a little bit. Some people say you should only deadlift once a week. Mm-hmm. So you think no? You like how often do you squat if you deadlift 3 times a week?
So I squat twice a week.
Okay. So you dead.
So it's like a heavy day and then like a light day of squat.
And do you mix those days with your dead days? Because you're pretty much going to be squatting or deadlifting every single day then almost, right?
So my speed squats, or I guess my dynamic effort squats, are on the same days as my speed deadlifts.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when do you mix in your bench press?
Let's see. So I have like 2 bench days a week. And I guess those are usually like Tuesday and Friday is like when I do bench press stuff.
And how often, because you post a lot of videos where you're going pretty heavy, how often do you go heavy with those heavy singles? Because some people, they say like, if you single, keep it an RP8 type deal so you can recover quickly. But, I mean, with Instagram, it gets so like tempting to like push those maxes and, you've definitely blown up on the Instagram fame because you got some big pulls on there. A lot of guys get like, just like off gym lifts start creating quite a big reputation just from competition lifts. Mm-hmm. And so how often do you push that envelope, do you think?
Well, to go for like an absolute max, not really very often at all. Maybe every couple of months I'll go for like all out max on my sumo or something like that. But, rep maxes I feel like don't really wear me out as bad. Like the other day I did like a max set of 5. And then, it's, I guess it's not very often. And then especially like when I do a rep max for conventional, I seem to recover from that pretty quickly because, say I pull conventional like 100 pounds less than what I pull sumo. Well, whatever I pull conventional, I'm going to be able to recover from better than like whatever my heavy sumo pulls are. Mm-hmm. So I can kind of like push the RPEs pretty high on conventional pretty often without having much of an issue. I think that's just how it's always been for me with the deadlift. I've always just been able to recover pretty quickly. So.
And so how often do you say, do you do singles every week? Some guys do singles every single week.
No, it changes. Yeah.
Kind of depends on whether you're meat prepping?
Right. So I haven't looked ahead to like my next couple weeks of programming quite yet, but I think there's like some triples, like some heavy triples within the next 4 weeks that I'll be doing. Like whatever I can, the most I can do for a set of 3 sumo. I think that's in there for the next little training period I'm doing.
So looking ahead a little bit, what are some of your goals? What's your next meet that you're prepping for? And B, what are some of the goals you're hunting down? Because a guy your size, with as much as you're pulling, I mean, everybody for the longest time was chasing Ed Cohen's deadlift record. And just recently, Yuri took it. What's your thoughts on Yuri taking that? And do you want to take that record back, bring it back to the U.S.? Is that U.S.-Russia Cold War rivalry? Right?
It's funny
I'm just
because
trying
I
to
say
make
that all
this
the
juicy,
time.
man. I'm just trying to make a backstory to this.
Okay, well, I'll tell you guys something I haven't really said anywhere yet, but I will be doing Boss of Bosses. In our
Okay.
Yuri Belkin, and we're both competing at 220. So
who is, sorry?
Yuri Belkin will also be there competing at 220.
Shit, man, that's going to be an exciting showdown.
Yeah. So we will be sharing the platform.
Wow.
Nice. That's very interesting.
So that's kind of my next big goal right there. I want the 220 record, so I'm going for it in August. So we'll see. Right now, I'm just putting on as much weight as I can, try to fill out the 220 class. So
What do you
What
walk around at right now? What's your body weight at?
It's up to like 215, which is very, very heavy for me. I've been doing pretty good with putting on weight, so yeah, 215 is like huge for me.
Are you do you mind putting on a little bit of chub? You gonna live that?
I don't know if I physically can. My metabolism is like so fast. So.
Oh my God! People are hating you right now. You're that guy who I eat all the time. I can't put on a pound of fat, right?
Oh yeah, it's like it just turns into muscle. So.
How big is Yuri? How big? Do you know how big Yuri is? He's a big guy, no?
Yeah, he
walks around 227, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, so he doesn't do a mad cut for 220.
No, exactly.
No.
7 pounds of water, especially it'll be day before weigh-in, so
Yeah.
nobody's going to be drained.
Yeah.
But fuck me, you want it, so you're projected, you want to throw on at least fill out to 220 is your goal then by the time the showdown happens?
Yep, absolutely.
You've been following Yuri on Instagram? He doesn't post so a hell of a lot. Eh?
No, yeah.
No, he really doesn't. He really doesn't.
And so he's a bit of a mystery, even though he comes in from Russia, whoops some ass, takes big paychecks, and he's that guy.
Just goes home, yeah.
He's so like the Ivan Drago type of guy, right?
Oh yeah.
So
we have no idea what he does over there.
So what are your thoughts on this showdown? What do you expect? Do you want in terms of like your goals for hitting the platform attempts? Do you have any kind of these goals in mind yet, or just kind of play it the day as it goes? I mean, obviously a record's going to get broken. We're pretty sure on that.
Yeah. I would maybe even like to have the all-time American record. I don't see that being completely out of the question by the time the meet rolls around. So, which I believe 9:16 I think would get me there. I think it's 9:15 right now.
Okay.
For the all-time American record. So.
What would be the spot? Like, would you, in terms of like the squat and the bench, you going all in? Or are you going to save a little bit of gas for that deadlift?
I'm going all in. That's how I like to do all my meets. I like to go all out on all my lift.
Exactly. You don't show up just phone it in type deal. What are you thinking in terms of your squat and your bench?
Well, I'd like to squat maybe around 620, 630. That's what I'd really like. Maybe bench around 450, 460. Mm-hmm. And I really want to get close to a 2,000 pound total in sleeves.
Is there, you're going to do sleeves? Do they do wraps at Boss of Bosses?
They do, yeah.
Yeah. So you think you're just going to do, are you better in sleeves than you are wraps?
I've never actually used wraps. So yeah, I'm better in sleeves right now. And I just don't want to have to, mess with them, Yeah. I don't want to have to get my knees wrapped at the perfect time. I don't know anybody there that's going to be able to wrap me, so... You know what I mean? It's just going to be another thing I have to worry about. Get my knees wrapped at the perfect time before I go to the platform, other than just standing there in my sleeves and chilling before I get to go up to lift. I'd much rather do that.
Who do you train with?
Just me.
No shit. By yourself? So you don't have a powerlifting team you train with?
Nope. I have a gym there's other powerlifters in, but we don't really train together. I train by myself.
And are these other powerlifters competing at a high level like you, or is anyone around you that you could rap knees and then like shoot the shit with, critique form or anything like that? Or are you pretty much a one-man army right now?
I mean, I guess the other ones at my gym know what they're doing and stuff. You know, as far as like technique and programming and whatnot, we're all pretty into it. Some of them compete also, but yeah. For the most part, it's just kind of just me, myself, and I usually when I'm at the gym.
Do you prefer it that way? Like, because some people.
I do.
Oh, you do, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's always just what I like.
Where do you get your motivation from then? Where do you get your motivation from then? Are the guys that you watch online that give you your motivation and inspire you to push it? Besides myself.
You know, I guess my biggest motivation is just being better than I was. You know, and I just always want to do something that's like awesome. You know what I mean? I want to be the absolute best at whatever I'm doing. So that's motivation enough for me. And honestly, it's just fun. So it's not like a lot of motivation is even necessary. I feel like, you know, I have a lot of fun just going in there and pushing myself and trying to get stronger. So I just have a blast doing it every day. I don't ever get tired of it. So that's how I stay motivated.
Looking at this, I'd seen before, I think you had done a shout out to Pete Rubish before. Is that right on one of your posts? Is he going to be a boss of bosses? Because he's also a monster deadlifter. And you're trying to stimulate a little bit of a rivalry there with Pete. What's up?
Okay, that's not really what happened. That was more like a joke.
You're backing up now. You're backing up now, sir.
I think everybody kind of just like blew that out of proportion a little bit because that's all I got. I wanted to see if anybody would see it first of all because I was like, okay, I just pulled 900.
We've seen it.
Who else said this 900? Pete Rubish. And then I just said Pete who? Hashtag
yeah,
Pete
you
who.
did. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did, sir. Yeah.
And I think a lot of people didn't understand that I was just joking. Like, so I don't know.
So you know what? Let me say something. I like that shit because I know we had Pete on this show. He don't give a shit. Like he's laid back dude. But when you when you throw it down like the IPF World Championships when Brett Gibbs and John Hack went toe to toe in the 83 class. It was all like they're fine, whatever, in terms of meeting each other and all the rest of it. It's not like they're buddies talking on Instagram every fucking day, but still, like a little bit of rivalry. That's what makes sports interesting. Mm-hmm. Like any sport, you need rivalry, right? So if you throw down like a Pete who, it's not necessarily fuck Pete. It's more, hey man, we're getting close. Let's see what happens, right? So it is like you and Yuri. Like it is like that U.S. versus Russia. Two totally different polarizing, you know, just from your backgrounds, everything, right? So it makes it a little more interesting. So do you know if Pete's going to be at Boss of Bosses and is he going to be pulling? Because in terms of a three-way battle, fuck, man, that's a deadlift delight right there.
He said he would be there. So I guess he has like a little bit of an injury going on right now.
He's got excuses, eh?
Yeah.
See how I'm throwing shit in your mouth?
You know, I noticed his little YouTube series is like, you know, Road to Recovery to Boss of Bosses or something like that. So yeah, I do believe he plans on doing Boss of Bosses. Yeah.
No shit. Yeah. So what are you expecting there? Like a three-way battle, Pete. In terms of how you guys match up with totals, is it basically more a battle for deadlifts, or is there a lead runaway for the total? Because I'm not super.
I don't know. I'm not.
So Yuri Belkin's total. I won't be close to that anytime soon.
Let him have that. Let him have that. Yeah.
Yeah, he can have that. So I can't do much about that right now. But it's up a 2,200 pound total though. He has an all-time world record total. It's just monstrous.
Yeah.
So I don't feel bad about not being able to keep up with that right now.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. You don't have to be the greatest of all time and still be good. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Right. So for Pete, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure where Pete rests at because he's a deadlift dude.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's benching at. He doesn't post. He posts mostly deadlift. He can squat though. He's got a bit of a squat on him. I guess it depends on the day and how injured he is.
Yeah.
So he would be, if you're going for that American record. I mean, he's American right there too. So he's going to be right neck and neck. Have you been seeing his training videos where he's at? Because he hasn't been posting as much, probably due to his injury. You've been seeing?
Yeah, that's pretty much why. I see his stuff on YouTube every now and then, But, he hasn't been doing anything heavy, like no heavy deadlifts. I think he's just working on a lot of technique right now and stuff, just trying to get better. So that's all I've seen from him.
When is Boss of Bosses?
August 25th, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got, there's time.
Yeah.
He's got time to pull that shit around. But,
Yeah.
It's going to be a little interesting because you only got a amount of time. It looks like the competition's going to be tight. This is going to be live streamed, right?
I believe so.
Is it?
I would think so.
Is it a pay-per-view? I wonder if you got paid for that.
So I know last year it cost like $10. I'm not sure about this year. I know the year before that it was free. So I don't know. I guess it just depends on whatever they want to do.
Yeah. Well, $10 is damn near. That's like a Subway sub. Unless it's $10 American, then it's like fucking $1,000 Canadian, and I can't afford that shit. So going into Boss of Bosses, you're going to be doing focusing more on the deadlifts. You do a lot of block pulls and stuff. What are your thoughts? How often do you do block pulls?
I actually don't really do a whole lot of block pulls.
Oh no shit! How often do you do them? Every now and then. See, that's the thing. When Instagram, it's so you only get people's highlights, right? So when you see the big lifts like singles and block pulls, you're thinking, wow, this dude knows to do it. Yeah, but you don't know how often you put them in there. How often do you do block pulls and partials?
Pretty much never.
No shit.
I remember. Yeah, basically never. Yeah. A little while back, I pulled, I put, the bar up. I was pulling off some blocks, just because I was doing shrugs and the power rack was taking. So I was just putting up the weight a little bit, and then I ended up just pulling a couple of singles off of it because it's already up here. I'm gonna see what I can pull off of it.
Yeah.
But that was pretty much it. And then I guess the tires. I deadlifted some with some tires that were basically like a block pull not too long back. Like I pulled 1,000 on those. But that was pretty much the only times I've done block pulls. So
you don't like using partial movements, really?
No, they don't. I feel like they just don't help me where I struggle at my deadlifts. Because I put up the weight on a block, and I can just move, a ton more weight. So I don't really struggle with my lockout for the most part. Mm-hmm. My hardest part is still just getting it going off the ground really, really smoothly. So I focus a lot more on just my power off the floor.
Do you do paused as well?
I don't. No. I've experimented with them a little bit, but no, for the most part, I just do regular deadlifts. Yeah. Just control and sumo.
And you were saying too, I read in one of your posts that because like you were saying, your weakest point you think is off the ground, so you don't do a lot of touch and go.
Never.
And what are your thoughts on? What do you think? Like, is touch and go? Do you think valid, invalid, or just kind of depends on where your weak point is?
Well, I guess it could help some people, but most people I see, I don't think that touch and go reps are a good way to go. I think they're just kind of a joke, honestly.
Whoa! Shots fired!
I don't do that. But I just
does
don't.
Touch and go. Yeah. So why is that? Do you think?
Because if you think, they're so easy compared to dead stop reps. I feel like, why don't you just do dead stops? You're getting so much more work done. You're practicing breaking the weight off the floor every time. Especially if you're using a deadlift bar and you're doing touch and go reps. Well, all that slack's already out of the bar, so just 3 or 4 less inches that you have to go down when you're doing a touch and go rep. Whereas it's different when you rest the weight on the ground completely.
That's actually very good. A deadlift bar would definitely change a game changer. Now, Boss of Bosses, do they use deadlift bars? They do, right?
Yeah.
So do you train mostly with deadlift bars then?
I like to do a lot of stiff bars for the most part. If I'm trying to do something like real heavy or do something epic, I'll throw in the deadlift bar. But for the most part, I like to stick with the stiff bar. Just it really helps with my strength off the floor. And then by the time I go back to the deadlift bar, the weights just fly. So
what's the difference between your stiff bar and deadlift bar? Do you find in terms of weight? How much more weight can you pull on a deadlift bar?
I'm not completely sure. Okay, so when I pulled that 915, a week before that, I had pulled several triples up to 800 for a triple on a stiff bar. And then even after that, I pulled 855 for one on a stiff bar. And it was pretty easy. So I would maybe say 30 pounds, 30 or 40 pounds of a difference there on my sumo. Conventional, I don't think there's a whole lot of a difference at all.
No shit. What do you think that is?
Probably maybe 10 to 20 pounds, if anything.
Yeah.
So.
And who, in terms of powerlifting, when you got involved, was there anybody who's like an early mentor to you that kind of brought you in and taught you the ropes? Because like your coach right now, is he local or is he online for you?
He's local. He lives all the way over in California, and I'm down in Texas. So he just like sends me my programs and stuff. But I met him when I went over to Super Training Gym. He's friends with Mark Bell.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess the guy that owned my old gym, or he was the manager over there. He was a hardcore, power lifter back in the day. His name was Paul Springer, and he kind of like showed me the ropes, a couple times. But he was always a real big powerlifting fanatic and whatnot, and so that's like the only person I can really think of. Other than that, it was just something I've always wanted to do. So.
And in terms of like teaching with techniques and stuff like that, is it mostly self-taught, or was he be the one that like taught you how to dead squat, etc.?
It's all self-taught. He did show me the low bar squat at one point in time, but that's pretty. Other than that, it's all just been me figuring it out by myself.
Was that a game changer for you? Are you low bar squatter now?
Yes. Yeah.
I wonder if most big deadlifters are low bar squatters because you get to throw more weight on your hips.
Mm-hmm. No, that definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
Just turn it into just a big hip hinge.
It looks, you're kind of like in that deadlift position when you low bar squat, anyways.
Mm-hmm. I know. I like try to do a good morning when I squat. So
that's essentially it, man. A lot of deadlifters end up basically good morning that weight up and down.
Yeah.
When they do the squat. Yeah. So, and do you do online coaching yourself?
Every now and then somebody will ask me, like they'll be like they really want me to do one for them, and I'll help them out. But I don't advertise it. It's not like my job or anything. But if somebody really wants my help, I can help them out. Especially like a beginner or something. I can like give them something that'll help them get stronger.
Mm-hmm. And what are some of your advice for people just starting out? Because you probably get asked a lot of questions. The more and more you start pulling like this, and at Boss of Bosses, knock on wood, all things go well. I mean, look, even no matter what happens in Boss of Bosses, it's going to be huge when you're lifting along the likes of, beside Pete Rubish, Yuri Belkin, there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on you. I'm sure you're going to get even more and more questions. What's some advice you give for some people just starting out?
They need to learn themselves, I would say. Like, they just need to pay a lot of attention to their own individual weaknesses. Mm-hmm. They need to work on technique and just learn how to work hard. I feel like a lot of people try to really overcomplicate it from the start. They try to run this program and then run this program. Well, they just need to be more concerned of just getting in the gym and learning these movements, learning their bodies, getting the best possible technique that they can, because that takes years. Mm-hmm. That doesn't just, you can't just figure out your technique in a couple of weeks. Like, I feel like you need to perfect your technique and then just learn how to work hard.
See, it's funny because it's true. Some people have these expectations, right? Like within a couple of weeks, they want where do you think my deadlift will be at in 2 months? Probably not a huge fucking jump yet, man. You gotta keep the weight off and hammer out these techniques. And here's another thing: is there's general template. Okay, here's how you set up for a conventional dead or sumo dead. But you have to figure out your own body because everybody's levers are different. How your femurs hop into your hip sockets are different. So you gotta work it out for yourself individually, right? And that's really the hardest part for everybody is figuring out where your foot placement should be, hand placement, etc. Whether you are conventional or sumo, and then from there build upon it. Did you find in terms of with yourself, what are some of the things that you find how did you know that you were gonna pull sumo as opposed to conventional? Is it because of length of your legs, your torso, or just hopping in there, you're like, man, I can pull so much more sumo than I can conventional?
Well, like I said, that was the only thing we were taught in high school.
Yeah,
so, So that's where it started. And then, believe it or not, at one point after high school, I was better at conventional than I was at sumo.
No shit.
Or so I thought.
Oh, so there's a part 2.
Okay, and then so I was pulling conventional all the time. It was a little over 700 pounds, and at this time I never pulled 700 sumo. So I go into a knee, and my second attempt on my deadlift is it's 711 conventional, and I just bomb it. I barely get it up to my knees, and it just goes straight down to my ground. It just goes straight down to the ground, and I was like, crap. And I was like, okay, well, my sumo was feeling pretty good when I was warming up. So in the middle of the meet, between my second and third attempt, I just tried to switch my stance over to sumo. And then I just destroyed that 7-Eleven.
This is like a fucked up movie, right? This is like that moment where you're talking to your coach, like, I got an idea. It's crazy, but bear with me. It just might work. Like, no shit.
That's what my girlfriend said. She was like, what? She was like, are you kidding me? No. I was like,
this is not the time to play these games, man. Yeah. Well, if you think
I have nothing to lose at this point.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if you think you're gonna ball them out, you're like, man, fuck it, let's go out on our shield here. Let's see what happens, right? Dude, throw that Hail Mary and maybe it lands on the numbers, right? Who handles you at meets?
Just myself. My girlfriend, if she can go with me.
You really are a one-man army, hey? Trained by yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Holy
shit. I got nothing. But luckily, my girlfriend was with me at my last meet. She can't make it to all of them, but so she helped me out a lot. Like just getting my food for me and stuff. Like I don't know, and then just hanging out with me, like so I'm not so bored between all my lifts and whatnot. That's pretty much it. But other than that, I just hang out by myself. Sleep, eat and drink as much as I can, and just relax between lifts.
Do you ever get like performance anxiety and day of the meet? What's that? Yeah.
Oh yeah, like before my last meet, I remember I was about to go start warming up for squats. This was before the meet was starting. I was watching the flights before me, and I kind of realized what I was going to do that day. I was like, I'm going to try to break the world record today, and then all these thoughts just kind of like hit me. I just went outside and I started throwing up.
Oh, shit!
Yeah.
You did that. You had that 8 Mile M&M malt spaghetti on your shirt moment.
That's exactly what it was, yeah.
that sums it up right there. No shit.
But, I'm always, especially the week of a meet, I'm just a mess. Like, I'm always just like so nervous,
Yeah. And how do you deal with it? How do you find, like, what are some of the tools you use? Because a lot of people, like, when they're watching this, I mean, like I was saying, you see Instagram, all you see is the highlights, and they don't realize, like, everybody gets nervous, man. Some people, like the guy's like a machine, he never gets nervous. Everybody gets nervous. It's how you deal with it. And that makes you, and then you perform despite how you feel. If you're not afraid and you do well in performance, there's no courage there because you were never afraid anyways. Mm-hmm. But if you're nervous and then you still perform in spite of, that's courage, right? So how do you deal with it and still perform at your best? You got any advice like that?
I try just to not think about it too much. I try to just pretend like I'm at the gym, kind of doing everything the same. And then pretty much after I take my first attempt, like on my squat, I'm not nervous anymore. That's all the anxiety. Everything's gone at this point. I mean, unless it just goes terribly, which up to this point it hasn't. But after that first squat attempt, I'm usually like, okay, I'm at the meet now. I'm competing. I'm good to go. It's over. The anxiety's over.
Do you focus because you handle yourself, which is tough because in a way, I know like with myself and talking to some other people, if you have a handler, in these moments, you can just focus on your own shit. I am just going to focus on my warm-up, what I'm going to lift. Your handler is taking a look at the scores and being like, fuck man, we need 20 pounds here. We're falling in behind like with this, that, and the other, punching out the calculator, figuring things out. And they're kind of focused on that. And it's like, tell me what I got to lift. But when you take it all on yourself, especially like going into boss of bosses type shit, are you going to be the dude who's doing the calculations and seeing what's going on and handling all that? Like that's a lot harder, I would assume.
Yeah, probably. But by then, usually at my meets, I have like numbers in my head that I know I want to hit that day. I already have my goal set. Yeah. And I do base every attempt on like how I'm feeling. So that's all I worry about. I just worry about putting up the most weight that I can because that's all I can do. Nobody else really matters. It doesn't really matter what anyone else is doing. So.
In training, are you the same way? Do you like look at what other people are doing and feel like, fuck, I got to up my game and this, that, and the other? Or you just say, you know what, I'm going to do me, and the chips are going to fall wherever they may?
I guess when I see other people, like, that are really strong or something, it does motivate me, like, a little bit more, I guess. But I feel like if I didn't have that, I would still be the same way, like, still being like, oh, I want to get a little bit better.
Yeah. It's true. It's kind of like when we had... John Hack on the show, and I keep referring back to that showdown. It's like the biggest showdown I had seen live. But John Hack was like, I felt like I was doing good. I was like hitting big numbers, and then I seen Brett Gibbs on Instagram. He's like, oh shit, I got to raise my game. Like I thought what I was doing before was good, And sometimes it helps to motivate, and then sometimes it can kind of get in your own heads at points. Has there ever been like a meet where you were like, damn, I wish I could have had that one back? Like one of those meets where like, you know, one of those regrets where maybe, because you've never bombed out, right?
Right.
But was ever a meet that was like one of those where you didn't fully perform and it was like, you know, not necessarily lost, but something you learned from?
Yeah, probably so. I think like I did nationals last year, and I just had like a really bad meet. I don't know. I think it was just all the meet hype. I couldn't focus enough. I don't know. I wish there was a couple things I could have done differently there. Maybe prepared myself a little bit better for it. But other than that, no, not really. I've felt okay about most of the meets I've done up to this point. And then if they go really bad or something doesn't go the way I want them to, I just think about the next one. I just think about moving on, think about what I need to improve on. I just move on, move forward.
And that's the biggest thing is in terms of like is gathering yourself. I mean, it's one thing where, I mean, we all know those guys who just like read online blogs, follow YouTube, and they're posting like gym lifts, but the shit is different once you get into a competition, right? And that's only experience can teach you like how different it is. When you go in there, some competitions, the wheels fall off, man. Like you're not lifting when you want to lift. You only got like 15 minutes to warm up that day. You got to hit it. You thought your squat was deep enough. It got taken away from you. It like shit happens. Only experience can teach you that, right? So it's one thing to say, oh, my gym lifts compared to this guy, and I think this is where I would be. I mean, it's a whole nother thing to hop in there and do.
Oh yeah, I don't think people understand what it takes to have a good day on the platform. Like there's so many.
Deal with that anxiety. Feel that anxiety. It's not the same. It's not the same, man. Week up, have people streaming, watching, and shit, and then have fucking Pete Rubish and Yuri on sharing the platform with you. Like it's different, man. You know, trying to explain to people, it's not necessarily translates.
Yeah, but that's what it takes. That's what you have to do to go out there and prove yourself. So you just kind of have to expect things to go wrong. I usually do. I'm like, something's probably not going to go exactly my way.
It'll never be 100%.
That's okay. That's part of it. So.
Yeah. Do you feel like you perform better in the gym, or do you perform better like your PRs? Has the platform been where you hit your PRs the most, or is it gym PRs?
For squat, yes. I don't typically push my squats very hard. It hurts too bad to push it like that in the gym. But at the meet, I always grind out a little something that I never have before. Yeah. Bench is usually kind of close. From the gym to the meets, and then deadlift is a little bit different, just because I don't have calibrated plates, so I can deadlift a little bit more on pound plates in the gym than I can on the smaller calibrated plates. But that's the only difference. Other than that, it's usually pretty close.
And
I'd say
is the thing too that a lot of people don't take into consideration when you're in the gym. You just got to deadlift and you're pulling. That's one thing. At the end of a meet, you've already maxed the squat, you've already maxed in the bench, and now you deadlift. Yeah. And if you cut weight, which you haven't had to cut weight, or you're not cutting weight for this one, but if you're cutting weight, that's a whole nother thing. It makes you tired and the whole nine. So it's a whole nother ball game when you're deadlifting in a competition, for sure.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
So looking ahead, what are some of the goals you'd like to hunt down in terms of boss of bosses and moving even into the future? Do you want to go? Is there like the world championships, etc.? Because you lift in the USPA, right?
Yes.
So you want to first hammer down that boss of bosses, and are you looking towards the U.S. Open? Were you watching the U.S. Open? I'm sure you were.
I did, yeah. I think that's going down again next year. I would like to go.
Oh fuck yeah! Here's hoping, man. Because they have even if you're telling yourself, all right, I may not take the 3 lift. I believe they have like cash prizes for world records and stuff like that too, right?
I don't think so. Not at the U.S. Open. However, Reebok Record Breakers, they do.
Oh, okay.
It's like $1,000 for a world record or something like that. So I do plan on doing that one in November as well.
Okay. And you're going to go for a couple world records, hopefully?
Yeah. I would eventually even like to have the 242 record also. I don't see why not. All I have to do is weigh like 221 or more, and then go in and get it, because they're all pretty close to each other. So
yeah. So what is the 242 record for deads?
925.
925?
Yeah.
Oh shit, that is really close. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Like, you'd be tempted for $1,000, pumping a token squat, pumping a token bench, and just grab $1,000 if you could pull 925. Or are you thinking, no, that's not my style?
No, I go all out. I'm there to put up a total. Absolutely. You know, because I still want to have, like, I'm not just a deadlifter. I want to be a power lifter too, you know? I want to put up that total I can, so.
Yeah, and what about the 90 kilo record? What is that at? Because you could make 90 kilo the day before weigh-ins for sure. What's the record?
For the deadlift?
Yeah.
Or what?
Yeah.
I have it at 881.
You have it?
And then, yes.
Dude, that should have been your intro when I said talk about yourself. That would have been, I would leave with that shit at dinner parties, man. Like, yeah, I got a world record, whatever, no biggie.
I'm trying to get past that. You know what I mean? Like, everybody brings it up all the time. I'm just like, no. I'm like, I don't want to acknowledge it really. I'm just thinking about it. I just want the next one. So.
Yeah. So you have one world record for deads at 90 kilo. The next one you want is the 100 kilo. And then, so you want basically to be like Conor McGregor, the double champ, and move up to be the 3-division world record holder for deads.
Right. I don't see why not, so.
Well, fuck, yeah, okay. So that's a big, but I mean, if you take 3 deadlift world records, that's a huge statement, man. Has anybody ever done that?
I don't know, man.
No.
Oh, shit. You would know. Fuck, man.
Well, actually, Ed Cohn did at one point in time had 3. He had 180. He still has 181.
Yeah.
Okay. He did have 198, and he did have 220, all at the same time.
Yeah. But dude, that would put you up there with Ed fucking Cohen.
Yeah.
That's a huge name to be aside, man, to be alongside. He just drinks his coffee. Yeah, well, fuck, I don't know.
I guess so.
Yeah, that's huge, man. That's some huge goals. Good for you. So when you think, are you thinking the 220? Because even if that kind of will play into your attempts at Boss of Bosses.
Yeah.
Because even if Yuri goes to, on his 3rd attempt to break it, if you break it in your 2nd attempt, that's yours.
Yeah.
Fuck, whatever happens 3rd attempt, good on you, bud. I already have now 2 divisions where I have a world record. Whatever falls in the 3rd attempt happens. And then you move ahead for your Reebok and you're going for the 242 world record. Like, is that going to play into how you look at Boss of Bosses? Are you thinking, I might try attempting it in the 2nd attempt? Are you?
I was thinking about it. I was thinking 909 would probably be my 2nd attempt. But, you know, I don't know. That depends on so many things.
Yeah.
Like, it's easy to sit here and say that now and then get on the platform 3 months later and then...
Oh, shit. Yeah.
It's a whole different thing, yeah.
It's weird when you start doing these kind of things because it could be like, I could solidify this record attempt in my 2nd, and then whoever has, like, let's say the end of the day, Yuri or Pete has the biggest dead of that day. You could still have broken the world record, you know, if you go for it in the 2nd. So then it's kind of like a safety to go for it in the 2nd attempt. But then, fuck, man, if you didn't hit the world record in your 2nd attempt, you're already moving forward with your opener. So it's one of these games you could play in your head.
Oh, exactly.
It is definitely a game time decision. These are some huge goals you got on your plate right now, and at 22 years old, no less. Do they have junior world records in this federation? They must be keeping track of those. You must be well ahead on those.
Yeah, I don't really even pay attention to them a whole lot.
No shit, eh? I assume you haven't.
I used to. I know, like, I got one last year. I got an IPL world record for the junior class last year with my deadlift for 220. It was like 804 or something like that. But
you're more looking into the open, eh?
Yeah, I'm more concerned with like just all-time world records. So
looking ahead, when all is said and done, you look back on your career. How would you like to be remembered?
I'm gonna be like, that guy was pretty good at deadlift. That's how I want to be remembered.
I would say if you break 3 world records in 3 weight classes, you might be one of the greatest deadlifters of all time.
Yeah, and that's good enough for me, you know.
No shit. I would say so. Is there anybody, thanks for coming on the show, man. Is there anybody you would like to thank in terms of sponsors or anything like that, or how people might be able to reach you?
Yeah, I want to thank the Kilo Cartel. They're really awesome sponsors. They take care of me. You know, everything I need, they help me out with. So it's really a blessing just to have those guys on my side. I thank Mark Bell too from Slingshot. You know, he's always there for me too. And other than that, you can find me on Instagram, CailerC40. I think my gym here in town, Lonestar Strength, for giving me like a good place to train.
And let me help you out. It's Mother's Day.
Oh, Mom.
You're welcome, man. You're welcome.
Thank you.
No worries. No worries. Well, listen, man. Thanks for coming on. Good interview, and love to have you around Boss of Bosses, maybe on the other side of it, and we could look back on a little recap and talk about it. And
yeah, for sure.
Good luck at Boss of Bosses, man. I'm sure we're going to be watching. I know everybody's going to be interested in that showdown. Good luck, man. We'll stay in touch.
Awesome. Thank you.
No worries. Talk to you later. Holy smokes, this is some big goals.
He's going to slap in the head for not thanking his girlfriend who was sitting right behind him.
But, yeah, fuck, man. So, so he's already got the 90 kilo world champion, or world record. He's going for the 100 kilo world record, so that'd be the double champ right there.
Yeah.
I didn't know he already had the 90 kilo.
Yeah, no.
He's so low key with that. Like, I was like, introduce yourself. Yeah. Well, you know, I deadlift. I like to deadlift and shit. He's a all-time world record holder. That's crazy. And so he's gonna go for that showdown with Yuri's gonna be huge.
No, that there could possibly be the biggest showdown of all time because everybody. I mean, as much powerlifting as everybody watches the big deaders, right? Yeah. So you're looking at probably I mean, Yuri just took a 26-year-old record, 25-year-old record, whatever it was. And for these guys to go at it. Like, because I mean, they are so. The hype on
Yuri is phenomenal right now. Everybody and their mother was talking about the Ed Cohen record he had just broken.
Yeah,
that's was that one of the longest standing world records powerlifting?
25 or 26 years that record.
That record. That's like shit. I'm logging a song.
That record was older than Yuri.
Oh shit, that's a nice stat. That record was older than Yuri.
Yeah.
How old is Yuri?
25.
Is he only 25? You sure about that?
Yeah.
No kidding, because I know that record, and then there's Mark Henry's super heavyweight deadlift record. What's the heaviest deadlift record? Does anyone know here? Because I know Mark Henry pulled into the 900s and tested.
But it's funny how that goes, because the bigger the guys get, I mean, their squats always go up, but the deadlift you never really see it. I mean, unless you're Eddie Hall, but I mean, you don't really see that number transition like that. Like those big guys don't, I mean...
It's awkward as shit to get down there when you're that huge. Well, you're 400-pound man.
You're seeing Ray Williams. I mean, his has had a steady incline in the last couple of years. Like I know when he did that 1,000-pound squat. I'm pretty sure it was Brett Gibbs that called it out. He reposted it and said, "I'm more impressed with his deadlift because he hit like 880, almost 900 or something like that." Yeah, I was like, he had like a 70-pound PR on his fucking.
If you look in comparison when it comes to the big boys, like you're saying, the squat is like over 1,000 pounds. And their deads are like 150 pounds less. Whereas for most people, not always, when you're smaller, total opposite. Yeah,
exactly.
Deadlift is the big one. But coming down to this showdown with Yuri and Woolam, that's a huge showdown for... Like, Woolam is
you by far... You throw Rubish in there, too.
And Rubish in there, 100% Rubish. Who, I mean, he's a bang-up, stand-up guy, too, and he can pull.
When Rubish isn't injured... The thing about Rubish, when we did the interview, which was really cool about him, was when he said... he's that guy that'll constantly make the gains. He said, Larry Wheels is that genetic guy that came out of it and just smashed big numbers. Yeah. And he goes, I'm that turtle coming behind because the turtle wins the race eventually. He's like, he just keeps gaining and gaining.
He's patient. Yeah. And he just keeps chipping away, throwing pennies in the bank. Yeah. and improving on an already crazy dead. Big thing with Rubish, I don't know how often he's injured, but he's had to deal with some. And he's dealing with one right now leading into this. It's A and B.
And it's weird too, because remember he only trains twice a week.
Yeah, but he probably goes.
Yeah, hard I know he goes hard, but I'm not saying obviously he goes hard, but
maybe
but the thing is about him that was the crazy he twice a week is all he trains.
Here's one thing. Okay, so he's injured right now, but he gets injured. Yeah. He's dealt with this shit before. Yeah. Which I mean, it's not good that he's injured, but he knows what he's doing. He knows, like, he can assess. He's been down this road. Yeah. He's had all types of injuries he's had to deal with. And so it's not his first walk in the park, which comes with experience. He's going to walk in this, and if he's confident and he thinks he's going to pace well, I hope he makes it on there, because that'll be an amazing show.
A lot of these guys, when they said they've been injured, they came back so much stronger because they took away doing, if it was a leg injury, they took away doing squats, and they just did leg accessories for a whole year recovery.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden
Look at Taylor Atwood.
Yeah, came back with quads the size of tree trunks,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden they figured out their lift, right?
We had Taylor Atwood on there. Dude was doing 2 plates aside for like reps of like sets of 25.
Yeah.
Leading into like, I think it was nationals or some shit, and ended up like the last few weeks putting some weight on his back and ended up winning, crushing it. So I mean, sometimes it works out for you. You want to do that all year round, but sometimes it works out for you. But I don't know. What do you guys? Let's throw it down right now. What do you guys think in terms of that 3-way battle? Who you guys got? There's 3 of us.
Well, the thing is that Cailer doesn't post a lot is his squats and bench. But he does have good squats and bench.
Mm-hmm.
So the hardest part to look at that, I mean, if you're looking at just deadlifters.
Let's look at just the dead. That's the real battle. I think the 3 lift, I think Yuri is probably a little ahead. I don't know where Pete's at. He's a bit of a question mark. I'd pick Yuri for the 3 lift. But what do you guys say for the deadlift battle on the spot and your guns to your head and you got to pick somebody? Who you got and who you got?
I'm going to put it on Cailer.
You're going to put it on Cailer?
I'm going to put it on Cailer because Cailer's coming into the 220 class. He's 215. His lifts are insane right now.
At 215.
He's moving up every time. Every time you see his lifts, it's bigger and bigger and bigger. And he hasn't even hit 220 yet.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I mean, I won't count Yuri out for it because he said Yuri's 227, but most of what I've seen, Yuri's around 223. He only cuts 2 to 3 pounds for his...
Fucking liar.
Well,
I'm
just saying, I mean, like, from what I see, he usually only cuts 2 to 3 pounds.
Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah.
there isn't a big...
Weight cutting won't be an issue for any of those guys.
No.
Pete, how big is Pete? Pete's not huge weight cutting either. Yeah.
But it's going to have to be on... how he does going into it. Like he said, he has a lot of anxiety and stuff like that going into it. You're going in and putting that on yourself as being...
Well, this is the biggest he's ever done.
Not just the biggest, it's the atmosphere. It's a boss of bosses. Like this is the best lifters of all time walking into this place, and you're standing amongst them. And I mean, kudos to him. Does his own training, does his own... He's got no spotters, he's got no handlers, he's got no... But that's also a lot to take on. I mean, you win now, you really are the king when you go in solo.
You really are the boss of bosses, would you say?
But the thing is about it is we've said it before. Powerlifting don't fucking pay, and depending on your job, can you afford a handler? Can you afford to have a coach? Can you have all that stuff, right?
You know when he was saying I'll do 3 if I won't do token this, token that. Well, fuck me. Your financial situation might be different than mine. I would take a token squat and bench for $1,000.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, look, there's a lot of meets. You could do 3 lift. Sometimes I might be like, I gotta pay bills. I'm gonna snatch that money and hit a 3 lift on the next one. Thank you very much. Yeah. And if anyone on Instagram is gonna be like, well, fucking, you did a token squat and bench. Yeah, but I walked away with a G.
Yeah.
Well, that's the token squat and bench show. I mean, his token squat would be maybe 600. His bench
would
be 400.
Well, some of these guys,
he's not going to be like. It's still going to be.
Yeah.
So, anyways, back on it because I don't want anybody off the hook, and I'll give my prediction too. You saying Yuri?
No,
you're saying Cailer. Cailer, what do you say?
I'm gonna say just the way Cailer said. He's gonna do his own things by himself, his own handling, his own numbers. That's a lot of stress. Yuri comes in, he has a coach, they have a game plan. It makes it a lot easier you can just finesse, that little 2.5 half kilo jump, and it doesn't matter how you win as long as you win.
Yeah, the big thing. So you're thinking Yuri?
I would say so. Yes, just on the there is a merit to going all out, but there also is a merit to sitting there with your numbers and being able to split hairs.
Yeah. I'm gonna say if I'm gonna fucking teeter this one way or another. Here's okay. Let me preface this, and I'm not gonna bitch out. I'm gonna give you my it's like people are just bitching out right now. I put you on the spot. You have to say, and then I'm like, I don't know.
Show's over, done. We're done.
I don't know. I think anyone can win. Yeah. I hate when people do that shit. But okay. So walking into it will kind of depend on. You got a huge point where Cailer, and you said too, he's walking into this is the biggest meet of his fucking life, and he may not have a handler. That's gonna be tough. And I think picking attempts leading up to the dead is really going to set you up.
Yeah.
I think that's like, it's easy enough to say, but when you get to the dead, and that's the big showdown, you just chip in 2.5 kilo more and try to take it. No shit. But in the squat, if you don't attempt properly and you gas out RPE 10 that shit, let's say you fail a squat, you're gassed. Walking into the dead,
especially even if he does it on like the second and then has to bail his third. you're dead.
Yeah, do we'll do 2.5 kilo more. You don't have 2.5 kilo more. It's done. That was done in the squats.
Yeah.
Whereas if you got a handler who's kind of looking at shit and he's like, just do what I tell you to do.
Yeah.
We've discussed beforehand.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
I'm reading the play.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you look at it and be like, whoa, I didn't expect this guy to come out squatting as good as that. Maybe we let him have squats.
Yeah. No,
it doesn't make sense to fucking try to take the squats. Yeah. You might pull back or whatever. For bench even, you get tight back when you arch and do that shit.
Exactly.
Like, there's so much that a handler can help.
Yeah.
And I agree with you there, and that's where I think, now I don't know, I forget who handles Rubish. The guy's a fucking stud and he's been around too. If I gotta throw down, if you said $1 million on the table, it's yours, or I got a gun to your fucking dog's head, and I would say A, is $1 million US or Canadian, B, which dog? But I'm just joking, baby. I love them both like my children. I would say I'm gonna go the Russian lion. So and that fucking pains me because I'm North American. And you know how I feel about those motherfuckers.
The thing is, I'll tell you about that is going to be really interesting. Is that what he said there is that he watches other people and everything else. It's going to be his game plan because they go into it. I mean, that third attempt, both of them can go high, right? If he reads into that, because Yuri could write something down that's just astrofucking.
Well, that's the thing the handlers do. Yeah. You write down an opener. You write down, and you know about that shit.
But does it matter? You know what I mean? Like here's the thing: if Cailer goes in and does what he wants to do, like he just goes in and does what he wants to do, does his attempts. This is it. No matter what.
Whatever he's doing,
no matter what happens, this is what I'm fucking.
That's what he says he does, anyways.
And that's what I'm saying. If he can stick to the game plan, which a lot of people, you know. It's hard to do, is stick to that game plan when you start seeing that stuff. But we see it over and over again. Deadlift people, like the people that deadlift is their lift.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, even though it's something they're exhausted, they've had a shit day, they'll pull something out that you just don't expect.
Yeah.
Because it's a lift they love and they know they're going to fucking put everything they got behind it.
All three of these cats are the biggest deadlifters of all time. All three of these cats could literally break the record. Like that's what makes it so hard. And we're not even this is no slap on Pete. Pete could be in there.
Yeah.
Oh, Pete on a good day, it wouldn't shock me. If he told me Pete took this, I'd be like, yeah, fuck, I can picture that.
Oh, yeah. There's the only reason I'm not putting Pete down is because we don't see Pete training right now. It's the hardest thing. He's not in your and
he's injured. But it would be so boss if he wasn't even fucking injured.
Yeah, but you would be an absolute...
He does a whole YouTube series coming back from injury. Some motherfucker smashing PRs right now. He's like 250 pounds, going to cut down. Like, who knows? It'd be crazy, but...
And he's right, though. Like, I mean, those records... Greatest deadlifter of all time, man. You take three records like that...
Well, no, for real. It sounds Super Bowl for me to say, greatest of all time. No, these are the all-time records. These aren't specific federation. You take three weight classes records, you're probably the greatest deadlifter of all time.
And to take the 242... like he said, I mean,
and to be so small, 242,
225. You're not even cutting. You're trying to eat a cow on the way in to make some weight.
But here's the thing too. We all know with records, while you're eyeballing that, another guy who's for real 242 is also eyeballing that.
Yeah,
and he's gonna come in here. So shit changes by the time you get there. It's powerlifting records.
The thing about Yuri and him though is that they got youth on their side. Like, where are they gonna go from here? I mean,
how old's Pete?
I'm guessing Pete's... I'm thinking Pete's...
He's young. He's younger than these guys with beards.
I think Pete's late...
I can fucking rock a beard, and I hate it because I can't grow a facial hair.
Pete's late 20s.
Yeah, so he's young. He's been injured, though. It's battle war. It's like MMA or boxing. Yeah. Some dudes, he hasn't had a lot of fights. He's young. Yeah, but he's been in a lot of wars.
Yeah.
He's older than he looks body-wise, war-wise. Pete's probably the less fresh in terms of injuries of those cats. I don't know what Yuri... Nobody knows
But it's
Yuri.
When Yuri took the record, there's a lot of bash and a lot of things and everything else. And at the end of the day, I think people just need to let Yuri have that record because Colin had the record for 20-some years. You know what I mean?
That's what Haney was saying when he was on.
Let the guy have a day.
Let the guy have let him have the record. We celebrated Cohen and we still do. Yeah, celebrate Cohen like a god.
He's not going to disappear. Yeah.
He's good. Yeah, you don't have to preserve something, man. He's like Babe Ruth for the sport. He's good. No one's going to forget about him. It's been 26 years, right? Let's celebrate a couple new guys and let them have their day. Yeah, it's important for the sport to celebrate some of these young cats.
I'll tell you another one though. When we look at different competitions coming up and stuff, I'll tell you the one I really want to see Isabella and Walford go at it this year. I think right now, like that is one. Like I know this is off topic, but that is one I definitely.
Let's talk about.
I want to see that one. I think,
that's.
I think that is going to be probably one of like we talked about the 105s in the IPF. I think that one there is. Also
if you want to talk about generation versus generation, Kimberly is a 78er when she was born. Isabella's like fucking, I don't know, she's young as shit.
Yeah, she's mid-20s.
Yeah, she's in her mid-20s. Eventually, you gotta think that Kimberly Walford is a legend as well. Almost like God, like demigod.
She never,
But eventually, she can't do it forever.
Yeah.
Isabella will catch up at some point. So that's where every year it's like,
will she?
Is this year?
Have you seen Kimberly's total ever go down?
Well, I know, that's what I'm saying. But like, yeah, she's got to be human. And Isabella, Isabella's a beast. Isabella like chipped her tooth in training. She trained so intensely.
Yeah.
Isabella trains like her life is on every single training session she has.
Man, I swear,
and so is Kimberly though.
But I swear, there's just there's something where she's from. Because look at Sophia Loft. Sophia Loft and her. I mean, they both like just scream and holler and mad. Like I mean, that last bit I seen her on Isabella, she's slapping the back of her head trying to get herself going for the nets. I'm like, holy, like.
I don't know. That is a huge battle that I'm not sure. Is it this year that Isabella can catch up, or because like, eventually I think Isabella's the future of that division.
Yeah.
At some point, Isabella is. I say that tongue in cheek because this powerlifting people fucking come out of nowhere within 2 years. A new person could be there and be like she's better than both. Who the like with powerlifting? Frick, man, it's true. People come out of nowhere. Isabella, she said within 3 years she broke a world record.
What weight class are they?
72.
72, yeah.
So you think she's the
future 72? Oh, you're gonna say Jessica Butner. Look at you with your smile. And that's a Canadian.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take it back, Jessica. I'm sorry if you're watching this. She's a world champion junior. She's a beast too. And she's 22, 23?
20. She's 22 this year.
I love how you said you think who's the future.
Yeah.
I see.
No,
we're Canadian too, but no, for real.
No, I'm not throwing her out as just being the future. But what I'm saying is that don't count her out. Like,
hell no.
Because if she stays with us and keeps going, like how far she takes us.
You want to talk multi-sport athlete? For those who don't know about Jessica Butner, you better hop online and watch. This kid's a beast. She's 22 years old, IPF junior world champion. Her deadlift, she's a deadlifter, phenomenal deadlifter. But she's also like a track athlete, like a track star, like a multi-sport.
Heavy throws or something, but I mean like...
72 kilo, jacked.
Yeah, she's shredded.
How shredded. Like abs at, like, what's her body weight at, like, in between lifts?
She's one, I just seen her post, she's like 160 something right now.
But she's been like 170 abs.
So, she was, when she went into Worlds...
She's been like 210 abs.
When she went into Worlds last year, she was 170 plus, and then I think it was...
Abs, man! She's...
I don't know, her thing was
crazy
4 weeks or 8 weeks, she cut out 20 pounds, and she was jacked as shit, like, she was stage ready to go.
Yeah.
And then this year, I noticed she's kept her weight down, instead of doing that big cut.
Yeah.
And she just did that local expo from where she's at there.
Yeah.
Pulled a 440 like it was fucking butter.
Like it's butter, yeah.
And that 455 was her comp. Like that was her record, right?
Yeah.
So I know she's already pulled a couple 455s in the gym or whatever coming into this one. Like,
and that's a world record, by the way, for the juniors.
Yeah. Right. So I mean, like Isabella's got that huge squat. Her deadlift's moving.
She can also dead 440 range or 450. She should pull 450 for reps. No,
I think was it 450?
Right? We posted
205 for a triple.
Yeah. So she's old.
Yeah.
But she's like I don't want to compare Jessica yet. She's not even past juniors yet. I know in the future.
That doesn't mean anything.
What?
We just talked to a guy. You know what I mean? Like I'm just saying. Like
Jessica's going to progress though.
Yeah, when the
it's all the progress. Kimberly's probably going to maintain, and like progress and like pennies in the bank, 5 pounds here, 5 pounds there. Isabella is still on the upswing, and Jessica on the upswing. So it'll depend on when they all face off. You know what I mean? Where's Kimberly then? Because man, Jessica's like a kid, man. By the time and Kimberly's like they're so different portions of their chapters of their career.
Kimberly, the thing is about her, she stays healthy, she stays safe.
She's just consistent.
You rarely see any injuries.
She never was a bad meat. Yeah, she's never, since she hit the scene, she's never lost the Nationals or Worlds for the past fucking half decade.
Right.
She doesn't have a bad day.
So when people she's not said, she's a goat. Like there's no.
She's great.
She's the goat.
Yeah. She's a great 72 kilo for. You can argue in terms of multiple weight, like all time whatever weight class. You could argue some people say Jen Thompson, whatever shit. But for 72 kilo, undisputed goat.
Yeah.
There's only been ever her.
Yeah.
So then that there's only ever been her, so I guess that is kind of a let's debate who's the GOAT in 72 kilo.
It's one of those things. She's been in it so long. She's a GOAT, like, because records fall. I mean, with the sport taking off, how many people are in it now? You don't see people holding on to them, and she just keeps winning. Like, and that's what I love about watching her is that she's M1 and she keeps winning. Like,
Well, she's not. Is she M1 yet? She's not M1 yet. Is she M1 yet?
She's M1 next year.
Next year she'll be M1. Yeah. And she's not going to move into M1 until.
No, she's not
the good
going
thing
to, but she'll be classified
It'll be crazy.
M1 as of January next year.
It'll be crazy. So I remember reading. I'm a boxing fan. Reading about guys like Joe Louis. Joe Louis is the heavyweight champion of the world in the 30s for 10 years straight. So when, or actually 12 years. So when he finally lost the title, there were people who were 12 years old when he won, and grown-ups when he finally lost, and they're like, "Holy fuck! Right now there's a different person who's the champion besides Joe Louis," and they don't even. That was crazy for them to even think about, wrap their head. Yeah. What would be crazy is when Kimberly finally does lose, and all champions lose, to be like, holy shit, there's someone else who's at the top of the 72 class, and it's not Kimberly Walford. Mm-hmm. It's only ever been Kimberly. And it might still be this year and the next year, but at some point it'll be crazy to think, wow, there's somebody out there who's number one at 72, and it's not Kimberly. Yeah, that's a statement. That's a legacy. When you make people hard to even fathom someone else being on top beside you.
But the thing about powerlifting, we talked about it before, is that just everything about it is that age doesn't always play the factor that is going to show you down.
No. You got juniors and masters who will be world champions. We know that. Look at Jen Thompson. We already brought her up.
Jen Thompson, Marissa Enda.
Yeah, Marissa Enda.
Liz Riggs too.
Dave Riggs. Yeah, sort of, kind of.
I think Liz Cravens.
Liz Cravens in her 40s.
You know what I mean? You're talking all contenders.
And then you got right down to the John Hacks of the world, who are juniors smashing. So it's all over the place. That's what I'm saying. If Kimberly never has a bad meet, even all she has to do is be human one day and have a bad meet, but she can't.
The other one I really want to see is, and I think this is just going to be in. I just pity anybody stepping on against him is in the 120.
Dennis Cornelius.
Dude, I honestly,
I think Dennis has got.
I'm not knocking anyone else walking into that, but I just fuck my life walking into against that guy.
He's his closest competition. Buafi's already in his 40s and was defeated by Dennis pretty well. And Dennis is getting better. And I don't.
He's not just getting better.
He's crushing it. He's crushing it. So I think if your stiffest competition has already been defeated and is probably. Although world class, still got probably coming back down. He's not. Then it's going to be Dennis for a while. And I know guys come out of nowhere. It's powerlifting, but Dennis is locked. This is the Dennis Cornelius.
You're going to be. It's pretty hard to come out of nowhere against him. You know what I mean?
He sees you coming. He says he watches the untested division.
He watches
everybody.
He compares himself to the 120 plus.
Yeah, he compares. He compares himself. He's tested. He compares himself to the untested. He compares himself to 120 plus. You're not creeping up on this cat. And he's a super duper nice guy, no? Was he not a crazy nice guy?
Yeah, he was crazy.
He's one of those dudes where if someone goes at him, he doesn't have to defend himself. 3-4 other guys will walk in there and defend for him because that's how nice of a guy he is, man. He's a.
But I honestly want to see. I think he is. He's going to do. I hope he does the 400 kilo squat.
The first to do so in the 120. He will. He probably will.
Well, he's putting up 850s in.
Oh wow.
850s for doubles.
Yeah.
Oh.
So. I think he's going to.
At some point,
he'll be the first guy. I firmly believe he's going to break 900 pounds. I firmly believe. That's my prediction.
That's pretty fucking crazy.
He's going to go.
Now you're out of line.
He's going to go 900 pounds on a squat.
You're just all over this guy's dick right now.
Yeah. But he compares himself he's a subtotal guy for sure. Yeah. His deadlift's nothing to step away from. But whatever he did this year with that coaching that he talked about, it's moving. His dad's moving.
Who picked him up with coaching? He was looking for a coach when he was on the show. Did he grab one?
He didn't say who it is.
Is this the right time to announce? I've been coaching Dennis Cornelius.
Yeah. Whenever he did, because right after that thing, all of a sudden I start seeing 20, 30 pound increases on his dad. He was popping them up, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I don't know. Maybe he didn't get a coach. Maybe he did, but I know he was talking to a few of them. Right? So
that's interesting.
But that guy, it's not the. standoff. There's no big competition on that.
It's like the Mike Tyson
but
situation.
it's one of those ones where you
It's
just
the Mike
kinda wanna
Tyson
sit back
situation
and
where
watch.
you're going to watch him just run like Mike Tyson in the 80s where he had no competition. He's just running through dudes. That's what Dennis is going to do the next couple of years. Whereas Kimberly, even though she's dominant as shit, she's got contenders she's got to face and beat.
The thing about Cornelius, he said his deadlift's the only thing that's not his weapon. He knows his bench is his weapon. He knows his squat is just unheard of. And that's what he said. He goes, he wants the deadlift record too now. So, I mean, like, having that kind of goal, like, those other two, those ones there are easy for him.
And he wants that Wilkes everybody.
And he's totally been doing it 3 years.
Yeah.
Like,
But he's been lifting.
oh, obviously, yeah. I mean,
Obviously, yeah.
the guy looks like the legs the size of, man.
Oh, his legs the size of me.
Yeah, like, I don't know, he's been lifting something out of cars or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's been doing, but...
And he's 1 inch taller than me and 100 pounds heavier.
But it's you know, it's the runaway thing, like... I don't take away from Ray Williams. Like, I like watching his stuff right now, but honestly, it's just he's another runaway, and unless he does,
he's another Mike Tyson situation where you want to see him just crush weights, and you can be a one-man show if you're just killing it. Mm-hmm. But once he breaks those certain plateaus, it becomes like, all right, like chasing the 1,000 pounds was exciting, and then when he hit it, it's exciting. Now it's done. It's not like you're gonna go # road to 2,000.
Is Jezza in Worlds?
Is Jezza what?
Is Jezza going to Worlds?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is, right? Yeah, he's got to be.
I wasn't sure. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. So I will say, if on a good day, that will be a run. Mm-hmm. Those two going against
for
each
squat,
other.
but in total, is Jezza close?
No.
So I think that's the thing. You have mini battles. You have mini battles for squat. For mini battles, you got Kelly for the bench, who's a world champion bencher right now. Shout out to Kelly Breton, Canadian kid.
Yeah, Kelly. I don't think either one of them are even close to Kelly on bench. Kelly on a good day, I think, is 600 now. Is he 600 plus pounds?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. He's hit 600.
Yeah. So the thing is, but Ray's known for his squat. I mean, he has a phenomenal.
For total, I think
he has a phenomenal total. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying he's known for that squat, and I'd love to see Uepa go up against him.
For the squat, he can. He's close in the squat, which is crazy to say.
Well, most people didn't click in when Ray did that. Ray didn't break the world record.
No, and Jezza.
He unofficially.
Does Jezza still hold the world record?
No.
Ray took it?
I'm pretty sure.
At the Arnold?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But Jezza took it at Oceana.
Yeah, Jezza's the first man to break that world record, and
Ray unofficially broke it and had the national record, but Jezza's the one that actually took it at Oceana.
Jezza can actually rock and roll with Ray in squats.
Yeah.
It'll be a series of mini battles. It'll be entertaining to see who wins gold for squat between those fellas, who wins gold for bench, and you'll have your favorites, and then who wins gold for dead. But overall, I think Ray's got the best game, and he's going to take it. It's not a major battle.
Yeah, overall, the thing about Ray that blows me away, and it always will, is that he is a very mobile big man.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing where you don't see that on a lot of these other big guys, Like, he does cardio, you see him doing the footwork.
He do the fucking agility ladder.
Yeah, like, he does a lot of stuff, man, and it pays off, but... Jezza, the one thing I love watching with him is that front squat, man. I've never seen anyone.
He's a front squat beast.
Yeah. He front squats people's totals.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part.
Yeah. But anyways, that was a pretty good discussion.
Yeah.
Till next time, you guys make sure you follow us on Instagram. Subscribe. Don't just watch. Subscribe this. And any closing thoughts will be good. We're out.
We're out.
We're out.